Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Soulwise with me, Semele Sherry. I confess that I struggled a little bit with this episode. I abandoned an earlier attempt at writing it. It just felt too head-based and contrived, and there was no real passion behind it. As always, I ask myself, I wonder why that was happening. And then this morning, as I was scrolling through my phone over my morning coffee, I was bombarded by reports about several out-of-control wildfires across the UK. And I heard the urgent whisper of words from one of my poems cross my inner mind. I was coming to the end of my menopause journey when I wrote it, attempting to convey the feelings of furious and fierce intolerance of any more human bullshit that characterized my experience of this shift into elderhood. I took myself off to a cabin in the woods alone for a week because, above all, I longed for everyone to F off and let me be, to become whatever new version of me I was transforming into. The old woman, or grandmother, in Celtic mythology and folklore is often seen as both the bringer of death and the midwife of birth. Just as Ceridwen was for Gwion Taliesin in the ancient story, she symbolizes transformation from one way of being to another. As the Cailleach, she takes the form of a young maiden in the spring and an old hag in the winter, symbolizing the natural turning of the seasons. There are many stories of giantesses and old women moving rocks or stones to create features in the landscape. She's clearly a memory of a primordial goddess, the embodiment of the creative principle behind the formation of the earth and land itself. In the old stories, the wise old woman lives on the edge of or in the woods or forest, out on lonely mountain tops or moorland. She's in a cave at the sea edge or underground near an ancient burial chamber. She inhabits that liminal place between the social order of human villages or towns and the instinctual realm of the untouched earth and her feral and otherworldly creatures. She has a foot in both worlds, ensuring the balance between the two is maintained and respected. As I read those wildfire reports this morning, I could hear the voice of Grandmother Earth, the old woman who's lived through countless ages and cycles of life, death, rebirth, raging against her abuse as the elements seek to rebalance the damage that's been done. Just as I've heard that same scream in the recent severe storms and flooding, and the shifting from within the Tellurian depths. So I share this poem now to honour and assist her. Destruction and death, while always painful, is necessary to clear the way for renewal and rebirth. We can lend our voices to sing over the ashes and our hands to tend the remains of the germinating soil. So here's my menopausal poem, Elderfire. Fire crackling through my veins, so I bristle to leave the hearth stone cold, abandon home. No sustaining cauldron of richly bubbling stew to nourish starving mouths and bones that crave flesh. I stir secretly that fire behind things, seen only in fleeting shadows that flare and flicker and then reform, so they wonder if that glare was really there or just a trick of the light, a lie of the dark. I crave the backward blast of rocket engines and the forward thrust of open furnace doors, a razor blaze so sharp there are no edges. Burn it all down, burn it all, burn it, burn. Would I know desolation in softly smouldering ashes and crisp blistered skin, fierce loss and cold regret? Or would my blackened lips crack a smoking smile at no thing left but a pure spark catching a life? So I felt, and I do feel, in the raging of the earth, that elder voice of basically saying no more human bullshit. Come on, I'm fighting back now. And the elements traditionally are seen as the building blocks of all life. Many healing modalities, I'm thinking of Chinese 5-element acupuncture, they work with the elements, earth, air, fire and water, the 5th usually being spirit. But those elements we are seeing running wild now in the world, and it is Mother Earth's effort to rebalance herself, to reharmonize the damage that our neglect and abuse has caused. And that aspect of the dark feminine that has to destroy is becoming fiercer and stronger. So we face the difficulty and the challenge and the dying and the destruction that's going to accompany this incredible change that we're on. And yet always, always, the reminder is there is renewal and rebirth. Nothing ever truly dies. It is just recycled energy. And we have to choose now to move with that, to work with that, and then to attend to the rebuilding with whatever is left. This is the divine plan, and all is truly well. Sending you, as always, my love and blessings, and until next time, goodbye for now.